Hi everyone, good morning. Another week. It's just I think everyone is in exactly the same position, and I really wanted to chat to you today about the fact that so many people are now working from home, and it's creating its own challenges. And so today I wanted to chat to you about creating your own working from home space and environment, and letting you know that I'm actually going to run a whole webinar on this, because it is just chatting to some of my clients. It's so, it's quite difficult. And look, I've brought this live a bit earlier today because I am going to be on an online conference, which is quite exciting. And I thought, look, I'll just tap in a little bit earlier today. But who's got their kids working or not working, but homeschooling at the moment? In Victoria, it's the last week of official school. My kids have actually been home all week, and they were home a couple of days last week as well. And we're fortunate because the school has got quite a lot of resources that enable them to do a lot of things online. But because they're young, they're still in primary school, there's still a lot of interaction required in terms of getting them set up. They're not technology savvy. We haven't had all the technology in the house and iPads and all that sort of stuff, so they're learning. And boy, has it created lots of challenges between my husband and I, trying to still work from home, conduct lots of meetings, and then also be a teacher and a guide for them in terms of getting them set up for working from home. So wow, we are in for lots of new challenges. And look, I've been quite happy being at home. We still go out for a walk or a ride every day. I'm not sure, how that's going to pan out. I mean, at the moment, everything is just day by day, almost hour by hour. And so, I had a big workshop with my team this week around, business levers and so forth. And it just changes so much. The next day it was like, wow, are we going to go into a lockdown, and how's that going to affect other things? So from a work perspective, I'm still meeting clients, practicing very good social distancing and hygiene and all that sort of stuff. And I am the essential person that goes out and gets our essential provisions for the week. And so forth. So I'm sure that I know everyone is in the same situation, and we're lucky at the moment because we're not in full lockdown. But I think because a lot of people are not adhering to the fact that this is really serious, that lockdown is going to be imminent, because people are just not listening, unfortunately. But wow, we're having online dinner parties on Saturday night. Everyone's going to cook from 5 ingredients. We've got a cocktail that we're going to have. I've got drinks with the ladies tonight. There's lots of ways that we can engage. And the thing that I've noticed is it's actually making our world a little bit smaller, in terms of, I've got friends overseas, who I used to socialise with when I was in Europe, and it's now, well, we're all at home. We don't have social lives. So why don't we just catch up on, let's catch up on House Party, which is the new app, or Zoom, or whatever it is. So I'm finding that it's making our small world a little bit smaller, because we don't really have social lives anymore. So it's going to move to online. So there's always a positive. There is always a silver lining. And I think we are going to start slowing down. Our lives are going to start slowing down. And I think that's a good thing. So let's talk about working from home. And look, I know that not everyone has. I am so lucky, and every day I am counting my blessings in terms of the gratitude I feel for what we have in our family environment. We've got a room each. I've got my own home office. Sometimes I share that with my husband. He's now currently creating a home office environment in our bedroom. We are really, really fortunate, and there is not an hour that goes past at the moment that I'm not grateful for the position that we're in terms of, what we have, and how grateful I am, being able to go to the shops. And I know that there's been a run, but really we are a lot more fortunate than many, many other people. So what do you need to consider with your working from home environment? And you don't necessarily have to have a, an office or a study that's dedicated. It's definitely going to help because you can close the door and you can have a little bit of a bit more peace. Although at the moment my door's being opened, every 15 minutes with, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And there are strict instructions now. Mum's on a Facebook Live, so can you please not come and open the door because I'm live? So it's really about, creating a space that you can try and, make your own, and it's a dedicated space. I think trying to alleviate working from the dining room table, packing that up every day, and then starting again the next day is going to be really disruptive. And you don't feel like you have to have this dedicated, separate room. It's an absolute massive benefit because you don't need to pack up each day. But on the webinar that I'm going to have next Friday, I'm going to be talking about all the different scenarios that you can create and how you can create that space for yourself without necessarily having a dedicated office. I also want to talk about in that webinar, ways that you can make it your own. It's when we're in our corporate lives, and, I'm ex-corporate, I know what it was like. Having these remote desks or these transient desks was like, oh, no, I want to create my own space here. So we have photos of our family on our desks. We have, little things that I used to have in my 20s at my corporate desk, all these different postcards. They just completely lined. I was surrounded by all these different postcards. And so you need to be able to make this space your own. You need to make it your happy place because we don't know how long we're going to be working from home. And it's really important that we have a space that makes us feel motivated, makes us feel happy, makes us feel productive, and makes us feel like we've got our own little, I suppose, cocooned environment that, brings a little bit of joy to our lives. So plants are big. Flowers, you might not get access to fresh flowers at the moment, but you can cut stuff from the garden. I also use some really, really good artificial flowers, which, just looks pleasant. But I do love the fact that I've got plants on my desk because I can watch them grow. I get a lot of satisfaction in seeing them get bigger and bigger and being happy plants. Happy plants makes me happy too. So the webinar that I'm going to run next week, I've just put the details in the comments, is all about creating and it's a free webinar next Friday at 11 o'clock. So it's going to be straight after the Facebook Live. So I'm figuring that most people are working from home. Let's do one during the day. This is a way for you to get more productive. And so I am going to be outlining what are the sorts of things that you need to think about. How can you create a really lovely environment for yourself and, give you some ideas on, making it a little bit more you, but also creating this designated area where you can be more productive. So join me next Friday at 11 o'clock where we will go through those things and, it's going to be, nice for you to create a space. Also do it with your kids. So I spent the entire weekend last weekend. One whole day was dedicated to one daughter and the other whole day was dedicated to the other daughter in terms of sorting out their rooms and really carving out a space for them to be able to do their homeschooling. So they've got a choice whether they can actually go upstairs and be in their rooms at their dedicated workspace or at their desks and do some of their activities at their desk, or they can do some of them, change up their environment. And I think we need to do that today. I know that when I'm on this online conference today, I'm not going to sit at my desk the whole time. I need to move around. So I'll probably go and sit outside for a while. I'll probably go and move into another space just to fix it up, just to mix it up a little bit. So think about your kids' environment too. And I will touch on this at the webinar as well around, how you can create a space for them. My kids got involved in the process. They're not allowed to have their screens upstairs in their bedrooms, but we've created a really great space for them. We call it their school drawer. They've got all their resources there that they need to access, and we basically got rid of all the stuff that really wasn't going to serve them in terms of doing their schoolwork on a daily basis and just get rid of the clutter. That was a bit of a challenge because, I need this and I need that and, I like to have this here. And, I let them pot up a plant and have their own plant on their desk as well. So join me next week, Friday, 11 o'clock. The link in the webinar is there. I'm going to go into a lot more detail about creating a space for you to be really productive. I know a lot of clients have said to me the homeschooling thing is a really big challenge when they're both working from home and they're on calls and they're trying to get stuff done. The interruptions it really is challenging, but it's also then about creating their own space as well. And look, we don't know what's going to happen in term 2 across Australia. Are we going to be at home? Are schools going to be in? Are they going to be out? But I really want to make sure that we are set up for that, so that we are, one step ahead of the game. We've got that all worked out in case we are at home in term 2 from a work perspective, but also from a school perspective. So if you've got any questions for me today, by all means, throw them in there. Even if they're a little bit later and you're watching this on replay. Think about homeschooling, working from home, setting up a space, and don't forget the webinar where I will go through things in a lot more detail next week. 11 o'clock on Friday, brand new time. I haven't actually done a webinar in the morning before, but I think there's no time like the present. Everyone's working from home pretty much now. So join me 11 o'clock on Friday. I still will be doing the live at 10 o'clock. And it will be working from home week next week and also floor plan week. So I look forward to seeing you. Have a great week. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a day-by-day basis. I just hope that yous and yours are safe, you're healthy, you're in lockdown, you're able to work from home. And, just remember we are in a country where we've got a lot more than many others. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the start of the school holidays, and I will be here same time, same place next week. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. Bye.